Alright everyone, welcome back. Our roles are already set. Lancer will draw Archer and Saber away from Caster. He will use that opening to attack Caster. Lancer asks ironically if we would be able to beat her by ourselves. To that,
まあね。私とキャスターを1対1にしてもらえれば、まず裏をかけると思う。
Tosaka answers with confidence. I don't know what she means by outwitting her. She didn't tell us even when we asked. So it must be a plan that will have a lower success rate if we knew about it. Then what I need to do is fulfill Tosaka's demand. In all my might, I will keep Kuzuki from protecting Caster. If I need them, I'll project his swords as many times as necessary. I close my eyes and dive inside myself. The magic circuit inside of me is stable. Magic beyond one's ability would destroy the caster. Half of my body became numb the first time. It was easy and nothing happened to me the second time. There's no guarantee that the third time will be the same, but I don't think it's a problem to project his swords. My body is stable. The magic circuit that was hard even to construct is easily activated now. It's like there's a fake nerve behind my real nerves and they are reversible with the push of a button. I'm trying to convince myself that it's because I've gotten used to it. I can easily prepare the swords. Projection has become my primary weapon. It's a big improvement over 10 days ago. It's not only my magic, my sword technique has improved as well. The reason behind it? No, I try not to think about the reason. It's more important to be Caster and take back Saber. Asking myself stupid questions can come after the battle. The headache gets stronger as I near the church. It's just like when I was looking for Tosaka, but I avoid thinking about that. The morning light is gray. The sun is blocked off by clouds obscuring the dawn's brightness. The sky above is gloomy. The sky is more gray than black, and it reminds me of that time 10 years ago. It should rain soon. An impure gray sky. Beneath it stands that man.
君のことだ。必ず来ると思っていた。
He stares at her with cool eyes. Tosaka doesn't say anything and stares back at him.
それで、用意した策は何だ？何の手立てもなしで勝負を挑む君ではあるまい。
ああ、とりあえずてめえの相手はこの俺だ。
驚いたな。私を失い、数日と経たずに新しいサーバントと契約したか。やれやれ、私もそうだが、君の移り気もなかなかのものだ。これはたもとを分かって正解だったかな。
構わないわシロ。あいつの挑発になんか乗らないで。
She stops me, still staring at Archer. But it's obvious looking at her face. She knows he's baiting her, but his words still hurt.
前から気に食わねえ野郎だと思っていたが、てめえ、性根から腐っているようだな。
おう、裏切りは勘に触るか、ランサー。自分が裏切られたわけでもないのに、律儀なことだ。
別にお嬢ちゃんに肩入れする気はねえよ。単にてめえみたいなサーバントがいるってことが気に食わねえだけだ。
英雄の誇りか。まったく、どいつもこいつも同じようなことばかりを口にする。あのキャスターでさえそんなくだらないものを持っていてな。死した身で今さら何の栄誉を守るというのだ。正直私には君たちの考えが理解できんよ。
ああ、しなくていいぜ。考える手間を省いてやる。
There's no more need for words. All that remains is the intent to kill. With Lancer's sharp and Archer's calm, they're about 10 meters apart. The confrontation of the knights in blue and red is just like that night.
ランサー
Tosaka calls out to the blue black.
お前たちは中に行け。こいつをぶっ倒したら俺も行ってやるからよ。
Meant to say the blue back.
分かってる。けどランサー、アーチャーは。
ああ、手抜いてやる。あいつには土下座してお前に謝ってもらわなくちゃいけねえからな。
He speaks without turning, grinning at Archer.
ありがとう。助力に来てくれたのがあなたでよかった。
We go around the two as we head to the church. The guard, Archer, lets us through unchallenged. No, he has to let us through. Archer's already confronting Lancer. Lancer will pierce him if he lets us distract him. He can either attack us and leave himself open to Lancer, or he can fight Lancer and let us go. If he really is guarding this place, the choice should be obvious. We run around the courtyard and open the door to the church without hesitation. Behind us.
まったく面倒なことになっちまったな。
何がだランサー。
いや何、あんな顔で礼を言われた日には手抜きもできねえ。そういうの困るだろ。おいそれと主を裏切れない身としちゃ少しばかり眩しいってもんだ。
随分と甘いのだなランサー。君は隣の芝生は青いという言葉を知っているか。
何言ってやがる。なもん俺が知ってるわけねえだろうが。
悠長にやってる時間はないわ。ランサーがアーチャーと決着をつける前にキャスターを倒すわよ。
分かってる。ここから無駄口はなしだ。それと本当にキャスターを任せていいんだな、登坂。
ええ、とことんまで追い詰められるだろうけど、それでも手は出さないで。シローは久月先生をできるだけ引き離してくれればいい。
We go past the main area and head to the door leading to the courtyard. I won't hesitate if Tosaka says so, but I don't know if it's possible for me to back Tosaka up even if she's cornered. My opponent is Kuzuki. I won't be able to dodge his attacks if I'm paying attention to Tosaka. Caster's presence is getting closer. The church is filled with her magical energy as she must not be hiding her powers anymore. I bet she already knows about our raid.
トレースオン。
Let's go. I carefully knit together the illusion using 8 steps. I'm getting the hang of it. His swords are in my hands within a minute. I feel a light headache. Even though I'm getting used to it, it takes a toll on my body. Projection is damaging my body deeper than I realize. Was it my imagination? I think Tosaka hung her head for a second. We go down to the darkness. We run down the stairs and come out into the open area. And after that, we jump down to the temple like I did before.
あら、飛び降りてくるなんてまるで猿ね。何を急いでいるのだか知らないけど、人間なんだから階段ぐらいは使いなさい。
We land in the temple. This was supposed to be a surprise attack, but Caster greets us with composure. Kuzuki Soichiro is standing next to Caster. I don't feel any enmity or bloodlust from him. That's his battle posture. His clear murderous intent is hiding the scariness of that man. In that regard, he's more like an assassin than servant assassin. Saber's on top of the altar. She's just like she was 2 days ago. Saber hangs there, her head bowed. I'm relieved we made it, but on the other hand, I'm worried about why she's so quiet. I think Saber was in pain before. She was shivering and gasping, resisting Caster's magic with all her might. But she's dead silent now. I have a bad feeling. It's great that Assassin's not here, but if this bad feeling comes true, we won't get out of here alive.
来たわよキャスター。いろいろ考えたんだけど、やっぱりあなたには消えてもらうことにしたわ。目障りだし邪魔だし煩わしいし、何よりその格好が気に食わないのよね。今時紫のローブなんてどこの田舎者よって感じでさ。
Tosaka insults Caster, hoping to break her composure. She slowly closes the distance between them as she talks, radiating confidence she probably doesn't feel. I shouldn't be concerned about Saber either. Tosaka is facing Caster by going counterclockwise, so I walk clockwise. Caster and Kuzuki. If we were to separate them, we have to attack them from different sides and isolate our enemies.
見逃してもらった分際で随分と勘違いをしたようね。今時の魔術師は皆こうイノシシ頭なのかしら。これではアーチャーが見限るのも当然ね。
Tosaka's insults must have worked as Caster's glaring at her. I move while she does so. I move to the other side of Tosaka, to a place where I can attack Caster from behind. Kuzuki watches me in silence. I thought so. There's no way that this man would not notice her trick. Kuzuki knows what's going on, that we're trying to isolate our enemies and that Tosaka has some plan. Even with that in mind, he's letting Caster do as she wishes. It's not that Kuzuki is controlled by Caster. He is acting of his own free will. But still, his passivity is like that of a puppet. A servant skilled in magic as the backup, and a master skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Their roles are reversed, and I think their natures are reversed as well. Caster seeks the Holy Grail frantically, while the master protects her without question. That makes me think, what if Caster was the master, and Kuzuki was the servant who protected her? Maybe they wouldn't have fallen so low if that were the case. Tosaka glances at me. It means our positions are perfect. Then, the match will be settled with either one of us attacks. It doesn't matter if we get defeated or if Tosaka beats Caster before that. Our fight will end right here.
So れじゃあ始めましょうか。あなたとの小競り合いもこれで3度目。いい加減ここで型をつけてあげる。
Tosaka takes a step towards Caster.
大きく出たわね。まさかとは思うけど、本気で私に勝てると思っているの？お嬢さん。だとしたら腕比べどころの話じゃないわ。今回も見逃してあげるから、まずその性根を直してらっしゃいな。
そんなの勝てるに決まってるじゃない。だってそうでしょ？あなたみたいな三流魔術師に一流である私が負けるはずないんだもの。
そうなら仕方がないわ。その増長厳しくしつける必要があるよね、お嬢さん。
They get ready at the same time, but a few meters between them they act like mirror images. That's the signal. I attack the defenseless Caster. And of course, I'm stopped by Kuzuki. The ghost-like assassin is in front of me. I can't spare any attention for Caster and Tosaka's fight. He knows what I tend to do. He will not let me buy time. Letting out the snake that even cornered Saber, Kuzuki Soichiro comes to take my life. I can hold them off for a minute at most. It should be the same for Tosaka. But originally, with our opponents reversed, we had no chance of victory. Close range fighting or magic, we have no way to beat our opponents who surpass us in skill. But looking at it the other way, we can at least put up a fight. Tosaka would be killed in an instant if she fought Kuzuki. I'd be killed in an instant if I fought Caster. In contrast, we might not be able to win, but we won't be killed in an instant with this matchup. So, in other words, this battle is not about how to beat one's opponent. Instead, it is a contest to see how long we can hold off an opponent of superior skill. The two weapons clash. Twin swords and lance. The attacks are executed to take their wielders' necks. There's no hesitation in those attacks. Each strike is meant to kill. Even Lancer makes no exceptions. Even though he told Tosaka Rin, his ally, that he would go easy, that becomes secondary once the battle starts. It merely means that if his lance happens to miss Archer's heart, and if it does not kill him instantly, he'll refrain from finishing Archer off on the spot. Even in that case, his enemy will die in due time. Lancer just needs to drag him to Tosaka Rin before that happens. Lancer does not care what happens after that. red demonic lance invades the enemy territory. The lance breaks through Archer's defense each time it is thrust. It's not like that night. Archer cannot block Lance's attacks now as he could then. It's only natural. This is their second battle. Lancer was under the command spells Bind. To learn his enemy's strengths, his master told Lancer,
お前は全員と戦い。だが倒すな。一度目の相手からは必ず生還しろ。
As the only order he was given. He has followed such an unreasonable command, and this is his first battle without any binds. Therefore, it cannot be like the last battle. There is nothing binding Lancer, and Archer is now forced to fight the fastest heroic spirit. Holy crap! Strange voices keep Archer's mouth. Even his hawk-like eyes cannot follow Lancer's spear. The lance's movement is a point to start with, and it's a flash of light now. He cannot discern the lance coming at him. Even Lancer's movements are becoming invisible now. He's been able to block such attacks until now because he had experienced them in the previous battle. He is doing what he can, using his inferiority as a weapon to block Lancer's furious onslaught. He is controlling where the attacks come. The Knight in Red limits the oncoming attacks by leaving fatal openings. Of course, he will die if he does not dodge the attacks. But if he can choose between instant death and getting slowly cut up, he prefers to risk instant death. Otherwise, it will all have been for nothing. Fortunately, Lancer is still taking Archer lightly. Or rather, he is lost in the joy of battle. If they are to keep on assaulting each other like this, he can think of another 30 ways to show an opening. Prediction using the information obtained. Planning using cultivated battle experience. Goes to the nerves of steel, the mind's eye that one obtains through training. This is nothing extraordinary. This is the only skill he possesses. It is not innate like Saber's instinct, but it is a simple weapon that anyone can gain through hard work. Lancer backs off and stops for a bit. He looks the Red Archer over as though dissatisfied. It is obvious he's going to win. Archer has no chance of victory in hand-to-hand combat. That's been obvious from the start. If Archer is an archer, like his name states, this cannot be a match unless he's shooting from a long range. But still, he blocked the attacks. He's inferior and should not last a few more blows, but he blocked Lancer's full force attacks. Is Archer strong or is Lancer going easy on him? He laughs. Archer is a mysterious servant. We can admit that Archer is strong in that regard. But it's unthinkable for Lancer to be going easy. The first attack was aimed at the neck to chop his head off. The second attack was aimed at the heart to destroy his body. He cannot be going easy. He shouldn't be, but it is certainly true that he wasn't trying to kill Archer. How does one know that this sort of fight is serious? A battle between servants is a battle between noble phantasms. The fact that he's fighting Archer without using his proof is that he's going easy on him. The reason behind it must be the thanks he heard earlier.
Che, まったく本気か俺は。
The weapons clash harder than before. The two spring apart in a shower of sparks. The full force attack by Lancer is nullified by the full force attack by Archer. They are about 5 meters apart. It is a distance Lancer can close in an instant.
下船な。
The spearman in blue murmurs.
貴様、これだけの腕を持っていながらキャスターについたのか。貴様取りんならば、キャスターになぞ遅れは取るまい。
Lancer stops admitting murderous intent, but there's no opening in his stance. At that, Archer smiles a bit.
驚いたな。何を言い出すかと思えば、まだそんなことを口にするのか。ランサー、私は少しでも勝算の高い手段を取っただけだ。リンがどう思うと、私はこれ以外の手段はないと判断した。
He speaks confidently with no sign of guilt. The knight in red shows no regret about betraying his master.
そうかよ。尋ねた俺がバカだったぜ。
Archer agrees. Lancer snorts and slowly raises the tip of his lance.
確かにお前は戦上手だ。そのお前が取った手段ならば、せいぜいうまく立ち回るだろう。だが、それは王道ではない。貴様の剣には、決定的に誇りが欠けている。
His fighting spirit roars up. Even faced with this, the archer in red still smiles.
ああ、あいにく誇りなどない身だからな。だが、それがどうした？英雄としての名が汚れる？笑わせないでくれよ、ランサー。汚れなど、成果で洗い流せる。そんな余分なプライドはな、そこいらの犬にでも食わせてしまえ。
In an instant, the slightly relaxed atmosphere changes. The air freezes. The magical energy to disturb the order of the world, the demonic lance that inverts cause and effect, is raised. His murderous intent is incomparable to his previous ones, though the tension must make it difficult even to breathe.
犬と言ったな、アーチャー。
The blue armored spearman growls in a voice that could drive the crows from the battlefield.
事実だ、空風林。英雄の誇りなぞ持っているのなら、今のうちに捨てておけ。
よく言った。ならば、お前が先に行け。
Lancer jumps back a great distance. It is no longer in a matter of thrusting his lance. There are over 100 meters between them now. Lancer leaps back to the entrance to the clearing and crouches on all fours like a beast. Archer senses freeze. Is it fear or awe? Either way, Archer understands right away the meaning of Lancer's retreat. He knows that his enemy's attack is literally a fatal one.
ゲイボルクの能力は効いているな、アーチャー。
Lancer, with his limbs on the ground, raises his waist. It's just like a sprinter waiting for the signal gun. Archer has no reply to spare. The knight in red throws away his swords and immerses himself in his own mind. But will he make it? Lancer's posture. If his demonic lance is like that of legend, a noble phantasm to block it cannot be anything superficial.
行くぞ。この一撃、手向けとして受け取るがいい。
The Blue Panther runs. Even his after image is a blur. Lancer speeds to Archer like a whirlwind. There are 100 meters between them. Lancer's not going to thrust his lance using the whole distance to gain speed. The blue figure crouches. After running 50 meters in an instant, the spearman suddenly leaps up from the ground. His body flies through the air. He holds the demonic lance said to always pierce the heart once it is thrust over his head. Space distorts. According to legend, that lance scatters numerous spearheads once it is released. In other words, the lance of causality joins with the words of the formed up tapestry of action. The spearman in blue arches his back as if drawing a bow. Holy crap, okay. And he smashes down the attack with a roar. The noble phantasm is a throwing attack by nature. A lance that never misses the heart. A cursed noble phantasm that cannot be avoided and will attack the enemy even if it misses. That is Gaybolg, lance of destruction possessed by the hero that never lost in his lifetime. As it is hurled using all of Lancer's magical energy, it can be neither dodged nor blocked. Therefore, it is fatal. There is no way for anyone to survive once they are targeted by the demonic lance. The bullet approaches. In a split second, the knight in red closes his eyes as if accepting his death.
I am the bone of my soul.
Ah, the popular line. The thorn of light blazes forth, and right before the thorn of destruction coming from the heavens strikes Archer.
Look. Ah, yes!
Oh! Its true name shakes the very air as it is spoken. The lance crashes into the shield. The lance of death that penetrates every wall and outmaneuvers any evasion. That lance has been stopped. Radiating a storm of heat, the lance of sure kill is stopped by Archer's noble phantasm. The 7 flower petals appear from the empty space and shield Archer from the demonic bullet. Who would know? This shield is Aias, the only shield said to have repelled the javelin of the great hero in the Trojan War. There are 7 barriers shaped like flower petals, and each layer is as strong as the castle wall. It is a boundary-filled noble phantasm that is said to be invincible against projectile weapons. The thrown lance will be defeated by this shield without penetrating even one of the petals. At the very least, Archer does not know of a lance that can penetrate this shield. But the lance of sure kill drills through the shields like it's nothing. The 6 petals destroyed. Only 1 remains. The demonic lance reaches the 7th layer that has never been broken. The unstoppable thorn of the demonic lance. In the face of that power, with a roaring spirit, Archer puts all his magical energy into the noble phantasm. After landing, Lancer glares at the servant in front of him. Archer has wounds all over his body. His raised arm is barely attached. His face is strained in pain, not only from the wounds on the arm, but also from the agony in his head.
驚いたな。アイアスを貫通しうる槍がこの世にあろうとは。君のそれはオリジナルのグングニルを上回っている。
You know, the fact that Archer has even came into contact with the weapon Gungnir is very surprising. The knight in red praises the spearman in blue from the bottom of his heart. But Lancer does not hear him. His strongest attack, the attack that made him a hero, has been blocked. He is so angry that his glare should be able to kill someone. But the anger is almost erased by his wonder. This is too strange. It is true that Archer's mysterious servant. His identity is unknown. He carries twin swords even though he's an archer, and now he shows a shield that can even block Lancer's strongest attack. It's absurd. There's no such hero on this planet.
貴様、何者だ？
ただの旧兵だが、君の見立ては間違いではない。
ざれ言を。旧兵が宝具を防ぐほどの盾を持つものか。
Well, this archer would.
場合によっては持つだろう。だが、それもこのざまだ。魔力の大部分を消費したというのに、腕をやられ、アイアスも完全に破壊された。まったく、私が用いる最強の守りだったのだがな、今のは。
Lancer only glares at Archer. Then,
それより気づいたかランサー。キャスターめ、存外に苦戦していると見える。こちらに向けられていた監視が止まった。
Archer raises both his hands as if in surrender.
そうかよ。そうじゃねえかとは思ったけどな。てめえ、元からそういう腹か。
無論だ。言っただろう。勝率の高い手段だけを取ると。
とことん気に食わねえ野郎だな、てめえ。
Saying so, Lancer turns his back to Archer. His work is done. His role of keeping Archer busy is meaningless now. There's no more need for him to side with Tosaka Rin. The spearman in blue starts to walk away and lays down on the grass to wait and see. I desperately parry the oncoming fists. Kuzuki's fists are live snakes. Even if I barely dodge them, they change their paths to come bite me. That's why Saber was seriously wounded. Saber was bitten by Kuzuki's snakes because she had the reflexes to dodge them. But I don't have such reflexes. I can't dodge them, and first of all, I can't even see his fists. I can't dodge them when I can't even see his fists. My shoulder. Kuzuki's fist grabbed my left collarbone. It's just like a bush hammer. It feels as if my shoulders are being crushed and I almost dropped my swords. I buried it and parried the fist going for my temple using the sword in my right hand. I desperately retreat. I pitifully retreat while Kuzuki closes in, not revealing any hints of how he advanced.